softwares, that is, the doors are open for you.
Okay.
Yeah, doors are open for you. It's not that, if you get into core, so you have to stick to core throughout the life. It doesn't work like that. Many electives are there. People take many electives and then they move on to the and ऐसा है कि जिसको सॉफ्टवेयर में जाना है आजकल तो वो चले जाता है. Very frankly, I'm saying this thing. Same branch, exactly same branch. Many of my friend is in Seattle doing the same work which Pratik is doing in Palo Alto, Amazon. He's from computer science, and my friend, my branch, from mechanical. Just that, yeah, you do that kind of courses from campus, or even if you don't do, you just, if you have that inclination towards software, you get into that company will trains you. That is up to you basically. Do you want to be in that software or do you want to be in your core? It's up to you. It's not that once you enter into some branch, so you throughout the life you will have to be with the branch. It doesn't work. Life doesn't go like this.
Sir,
So
is it
be
open
assured.
for all? Like chemical and mechanical also, they can sit for the placements in the
Most of the company, I know, I can understand what you're saying. Basically, for software or for
yeah.
consulting and finances, they are open to all. Anyone can sit. Any branch
Okay.
can sit.
Okay.
For software, there might be some restriction in few companies. I don't know, but few companies only. But most of them, it is open to all. It is just,
And
it depends on their meter.
sir, what about can we get the loans or finances from the inside the campus or institute or any banks which is available there itself for the fees?
I cannot answer because I graduated long time. Yeah, even when I was there, some banks came and they give you any special rebates to IITs and BITS. It was there. Yeah, there is a MCN scholarship. You get a lot of scholarship on campus, which people do not even know. Huge scholarship. I think these people from campus right now can say. Karthik, Arjun, you want to say something about it?
Yeah, I can say something about MCN.
Yeah.
So MCN stands for Merit Cum Need Scholarship. Now, based on your CGPA, if you're not able to get only merit scholarship, which is only for the top 2% of the candidates who are secured some good CGPA, the top 1% of the candidates, you get 100% reimbursement in the fees, in the academic fees, like in the tuition fee. And then for the top 2%, they get 40% of the reimbursement in their tuition fee. Whereas this only merit scholarship is given only to around 20 to 30 students, at max 25-30 students. However, if you're looking for MCN, Merit Cum Need Scholarship, it is given to many people, over 90 people, I would say, over 70 to 90 people. So even if you get a low CGPA, if you apply for MCN, well, there will also be a cutoff for annual income in order to obtain this MCN scholarship.
What is that?
In the annual income, like your annual income should be around 12 or 13 lakhs, like less than that. Only then you would get MCN. So the MCN scholarships can be as high as 80%, and they can be the minimum scholarship they can offer is 25% of the tuition.
Okay. And how is it adjusted? Is it first you have to pay the fees, or then it gets adjusted, or how it comes?
Like, for example, let's just say in first year, first semester, somebody has secured a CGPA, like scored a specific grade. And in SWD, there's a website called SWD, and whatever the reimbursement is announced, it'll be put up in the SWD page, like 25% scholarship has been given, or 40% scholarship has been given. And accordingly, for the next semester, the respective amount of money will be deducted from the tuition fees.
Sir, any restrictions in the campus? I mean, a student can go out, or they have to always within the campus itself, just to know about this.
Yeah, so I would like to say that in Hyderabad, the only restriction on campus would be that you can't be outside your hostel after 2. That's all there is, and there isn't any in-time restriction in Pilani and Goa as far as I know. But like to go out on weekends, in the first year you need to take a form and outpass from the hostel office, and that's it. Well, now after you get to the second year and beyond, you just need to show your ID card and you can leave. There aren't any restrictions like that. Goa campus, as far as I've heard, is a little strict in terms of entry and exit timings. But apart from that, I think so it's fine.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention one thing. You asked about changing the branch. I
Yeah.
joined any campus with physics, and I was able to change it to economics. So definitely it's possible, but you need to work a little bit hard and have think about it before you join it. That you will be giving your 1 year solely for this. Like it's just like the way
Okay.
you JEE. It will look like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of hands.
That-
I
exactly.
can say Abhinav.
Yeah.
Abhinav?
So, yes, please.
Yes, Abhinav is here, and
Hello, Abhinav.
I want to inquire about the scope of electronics and communication engineering. What is the future scope of electronics and communication?
Anyone want to take?
Am I audible?
Yeah,
Can
I
you-
would
Yes, sir. You are
say
audible.
that I'm not sure what the scope is, but as an EC student, like I myself have an Eco plus an EC dual, and I'll be doing my EC courses next year or in the next sem. So I can say that from what I've seen, after doing EC, like you can sit for almost all placements if you have a decent CGPA. You can sit for finance if you have a finance minor. You can sit for core, you can sit for IT placements. So the fields you can go into depend on your interest after that. There isn't any like restrictions on what you can get into.
Okay, so when you are talking about minor, so if one is doing BTech in electronics and communication engineering, so can he or she take a minor also along with that in
Yes.
4 years
Yes.
BTech?
Yes. Because the minor requirements are completed through electives that are assigned with each degree. Like you have empty slots and you have a set of subjects you can choose from. So by choosing specific subjects for that minor, you can complete that minor as well. Like people with EC, they take a CNI, a computing and intelligence minor, or they take a finance minor depending on their interest.
Okay, and just one more query that you have posted the cutoffs for 2022. So I just want to know what is the normal deviation year by year in the cutoffs, like say 1%, 2% plus or minus deviation. Is there any trend?
No, there isn't any trend as such. It depends on that year's performance. So can't say.
It's very
Right.
uncertain.
It's uncertain, and as we have got feedback from students this time, papers of session 1 certainly seem to be more difficult. So
Okay.
it feels like, as compared to like what we have been constantly touching our students from previous year, as well as we have been interacting, it seems they're slightly tougher this side. We can expect a drop, but no guarantee about that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Most
Can we have the
welcome.
next? Kedari Sethi Venkata
yeah.
Niruddha, sir. Namaskar. Sir, you have to unmute
So
yourself.
you are
Sir,
on mute.
yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Suppose student, if he gets a lower rank, maybe around 190 to 200, if he consider the past trends for last 3-4 years, which one is a better option, whether to take chemical or mechanical or civil, or otherwise take the dual degree like MSc physics or MSc something like. So what is and if my son doesn't want to stop here, if you want to pursue further studies, what is the advice which you can expect?
Further studies in what? That is also important.
Management studies.
Then nothing. If he is going for management, then anyway he is not going to deal with engineering. I believe so.
No, like
So-
generally the BITS or IIT or NITs, generally they prefer to go for further like civil services and like IIT, IIMs, other kind of things, or MS in overseas countries and also. Considering this, which can give the better options, like going for the core at the front, taking some mechanical or chemical or civil, or otherwise choose MSc physics or maths or economics, whatever maybe. I'm just talking about the person with lower score. Okay.
Maybe if I can rephrase the question, it might be, if we think about the difficulty of courses as well as suitability with respect to any future prospects in management, like what would that be most suitable for a student with a relatively lower score? That's what he's trying to ask.
For management anyway, it doesn't matter. See, MS becomes very technical side, sir. If you're talking about MS, and right now it is far future for your kid at this moment. So you don't know what is his choice even. And very frankly, at this moment, no one knows what is their choice. Everyone is in the race. Everyone looks for race. That okay, placement. But I don't know if your even kid is going to like computer science being in college. So at this moment, things are uncertain. And definitely, I won't say that you things are uncertain. So whatever you choose things as per his preliminary interest, and of course the scenario, the placement and all those. But as you are saying that he wants to go for higher study, if it is management, then it doesn't matter. But if it is if he's going for UPSC, very few people take core engineering as their elective subject in UPSC, as I know. If he's going for geography or whatever political science, then how does it matter he studies computer science or mechanical engineering? Again, it is ruled out. Now talking about basically if he's going for MS, now he wants to be in technical side, then definitely there it is going to matter which branch you want to take. There, because that is a deciding factor. A mechanical engineering person will continue to be in the mechanical engineering. That is there. So now it depends on basically what is your choice. The whole thing is that if you are very determined that you want to get into computer science, if you are not getting at this moment, then fine. Do your degree, you take it and work hard, and in the second year you can opt for computer science. But that there is also it is a merit list comes in the second year. But transfer is definitely far more difficult than getting a dual degree. Transfer from branch to branch is a very difficult. It is possible. People do, 2-3 people do in the 800 like that, or 600 people. But branch, every dual degree is capable. MSc person is capable. They are allowed to take second branch, engineering branch. That is there. So now there are several. I mean, I cannot answer. You have to do this. I gave you a overview that management doesn't matter. UPSC doesn't matter. If you are going for MS, if it matters, if you want to get into computer science, then yeah, fine, take a dual degree. And the easier way is to take a dual degree with masters. Or if he is very determined that he doesn't want to study for one more year, then yeah, fine, work hard and be in the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% and go or transfer. So you have all scenarios now. It is up to you.
Sir, thank you. One more question. Subsi, one student is very much determined to get into BITS, okay, but however is unable to get good score. Okay, so he maybe wanted to take some EC or CSC, but however his score doesn't support him to take that admission. But still, he is very much determined to get into BITS. He is passionate about BITS. In that case, what is your suggestion? Whether he can still take lower branches, continue, and what is the kind of level of opportunities, whether it is a civil or whether it is a EC or CSC. So whether does it make any difference? Otherwise, he can build up the career. So maybe initially he may not be interested taking up the mechanical, chemical, or civil, but however, he is forced to take that course because of his lower marks, and at the same time, he is passionate about entering into BITS. In that case, what is your advice?
Well, thing is, first of all, he's passionate about bits, right?
Yeah.
So passionate about bits, not branch. So fine. Then whichever branch he wants, he can enter. But talking about maybe the first placement can definitely be there. Obviously, the differences are there because of the boom and the core engineering. It takes time to build your repo with time. It takes time. Maybe if you, it's not that people who are into civil, they are not they are not at a very high position, or they, even if you are in core engineer, you are not very successful. Nothing like that sort happened. Just that computer science student, the whole difference comes why computer science placements they are high, because even if you are a very fresh graduate, you are able to make a significant contribution to industry, even if you are just fourth year or fifth year past. But as a civil engineer or mechanical engineer, you cannot even design a nut bolts properly. That also requires a lot of, even if you do a small mistakes, because I was working as a fire heater design engineer properly in the oil and gas. So I can say, even if you do a small mistake, that's a huge loss. So it takes a lot of time to learn. Once you are not contributing to industry, why a industry is going to pay you? They don't pay you for learning. They pay you for contribution. That is the thing. There comes a logic. That's the reason the salaries of computer science people, they are higher than the core engineering people. They make a huge contribution from day one. They can start doing it. But if you are passionate about, it's not that now people who are working in automobile sector or civil sector, structural, of course a computer science person cannot replace it. So I'm giving you all type of scenario. If he is passionate about on these things, he must go to it. Just that his first placement, so he will take time to reach to that level where computer science student can get in terms of monetary terms. He will get a very high level of placement in terms of monetary time. I'm talking about civil, mechanical, chemical may take more time, but now it depends on that he can go for MS, and then he can go for basically or MS or PhD, whichever way you want. If someone is interested in automobile, he can go for maybe mechanical and then do MS. He can get a very good job in that sector. So if you are talking, since you use this term passion, so I'm talking in terms of passion. When passion comes, you don't talk about money. Money is sufficient to sustain and to live. It's not that you just pass out and you buy a Audi or Lamborghini. Nothing of that sort happens. That's not passion. That's a greed. So let's be very clear about the mental clarity has to be there when we are talking about what we want. If you are passionate about something, then you must pursue it. You should have patience. But yeah, definitely, if your family conditions are not very sound, you have taken loan, and many other aspects can be there. You have a good need of money, then of course you look for placement. Now it depends on family to family. Passion comes when you have a good financial backup. Now otherwise most of the people, they run towards high placement in terms of monetary benefits. So it depends on, I am not digging into a personal levels, on a personal levels. I'm not talking about one family or something. You know your family background better. What do you want? So if you are definitely looking for a financial benefit just after this one, then definitely you should go for computer science.
Sir, even if you take lower branches, the placements and campus placements are good, sir, for all engineers, or it again depends on the branch.
When other people definitely can say about it, but as I said, there is nothing like lower branch. As I said, it depends on basically you decide what is lower and what is higher. So because it is mostly decided by the financial factors. That's why you say. So don't please avoid saying lower branch. There's nothing
Lower
like
branch in the sense of based on the rank.
based on the cutoff you are saying.
Yeah.
That is decided by people like you and me, because as I said, civil person may not get definitely they are not going to get a very high salary initially, because it will take long time. Computer science person will get it. So that is a fact, and we need to accept it. And if you are looking for a high salary, you must go for computer science from now itself. If you are passionate about civil, then definitely I would say follow your passion. Now talking about the opportunities are equal. Consulting and financial companies, they are open for everyone. All are welcome. Doesn't matter where and the restriction comes in few computer science companies, I believe. There comes some restriction. Otherwise, even many software companies, they are also allowed for other branches. Just that other if you are going in other branch, you'll have to take electives and you have to work little hard so that you do those courses also, which are required to appear for the interview of those companies. If you have not done, probably you won't be able to crack the interview.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, can I just add up to the point?
Yeah, please.
Hi, sir. I am Varsha. I am from civil. So initially, even I wanted to get into this, but then I am not interested in civil. Even I thought of changing my branch, but then somehow I started liking civil. And my interest grew up to civil, and now I wanted to work in core only. And coming to placements and all, yes, civil and other core subjects, especially mechanical, civil, and chemical, will be offered very less compared to CS people, because that is usually done. We need experience for our salary to increase, and the increment of our salary there is a high chance it increases eventually in a span. Like it needs 5 to 10 years for our salary to be proper as a CS person. And yes, you can shift into CS after getting into this also, but then it is a little difficult. So it's just, I would suggest the student's choice. If he's interested in CS and he wants to join and he's ready to take the risk of entering into the college and then getting into the competitive field, apply for a vertical transfer, then it's up to him, sir. But then I like civil, so I'm just telling my side. Civil is a good option. That's it.
Okay, great. So just a little request to all the people. So we have heard from panelists that they are getting DMs in their chat. Please don't do that. Ask publicly so that everyone gets benefited. Okay. You might have to wait a little bit longer, maybe 5-10 minutes. But if you ask, not only they will be able to tell you, but all of them who are attending. So please ask directly by raising your hand, please. Naman, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please switch on video and you can ask.
So my question was that when filling my preference forms, should I keep economics, MSc economics below or above? I'm getting circuit branches according to the 2022 cutoffs. So and I would prefer CS, but is it worth it to put my economics, MSc economics above or below the circuit branches when I'm filling in the preference form? And also, how much difference is there between the 3 circuit branches, EC, ENE, ENI, and EEE? And if there's not much difference, then why is there so much difference in the cutoffs?
So I would like to answer this because I was in a similar situation. So I also was getting EC as per the cutoffs. And still I chose an MSc economics because I wanted another shot at computer science. And I went into college with this attitude only that worst case scenario, I'll get an EC only, and that's what I got. So if you want a shot at a higher degree, it's definitely a good choice. And in terms of MSc economics in itself, it's a pretty practical and useful degree. And you learn a lot of stuff, especially the finance delves and electives which are offered, like derivatives and risk management and financial management. They're really real world and practical courses, and the projects in them are also really good. That's where the value of things like these actually come in. And in terms of coursework, overall, the 3 circuit branches don't differ in terms of CDCs, which are compulsory subjects that you have to learn. But the only difference would be in some electives that are available for them. And in terms of the different dual degrees, the electives that are available for them are also different. Like for MSc Economics, our electives cover most of the finance minor. But for MSc Maths, their electives tend to cover a little bit of the computing and intelligence minor. So I would say ki don't worry about any kind of minor right now, but try to see that whether the main MSc degree kind of interests you or not.
Got it. Thanks.
I would like to add one point over here. So if you're really into economics, like if you're really interested in economics, and given that it's a very good degree as well, if you want to take it and if you feel like you can get computer science branch after your first year, you can go for economics. Well, if you have consistently worked well, even if you did not put your best, or even if you did not work really hard, you might end up at least at EEE or ENI, which is a circuitous branch again. But yeah, so if you're really into economics and you feel like you can get a seat in computer science, you can go for economics. But if you think that it's a risk, just go with EC, EEE and ENI above economics. Usually ENI and economics cutoffs are almost the same. If not, economics might have a higher cutoff sometimes than ENI.
We have Pratik also, who is a computer science and economics. So would you like to add something?
Yeah, I think most of the points people already covered, but just one thing that you can take into account while deciding between economics and maths is economics is lighter in terms of load. So you have a lot of time to pursue your other interests also. So that's one factor that you should take into account, and definitely it's more practical compared to any of the hard sciences branches. So I liked economics a lot. I changed from physics to economics for this reason. So go ahead with economics. Also do factor in that you will be giving 1 year to a branch which probably you might not use for like ever in your working life. So for example, I like economics, but I never use it in my job. And it doesn't matter anywhere in my field, wherever I go. So do factor in that also. Maybe that 1 year is a lot more valuable to you. So these are also some of the factors you should take into consideration.
Got it, sir.
We have Mr. Deepak who is raising hand for a long time. Mr. Deepak.
Yeah, hello. So
Hello, Mr. Deepak.
most of my questions already answered, but I again ask same question in a different manner. With current marks, but in session 1 my son got, he might get mechanical in Pilani, Goa and Hyderabad, and same time he can get electronics and instrumentation in Goa and Hyderabad. So what should I do in that scenario?
Who wants to answer this question?
Well, speaking about the scope after graduation, electronics and instrumentation is the branch with higher scope. But you would again have to ask your son what he is interested in. If he is interested in mechanical, he can directly go for Pilani, or if he is interested in ENI, in circuitry branch, he can go for ENI. That's what I would say.
Okay. Thank you.
But from what I've heard, the grading in Goa is a little bit stricter as compared to Hyderabad and Pilani.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Or maybe if you like beaches, then fine, definitely. We had such cases also that, anyway, my son wants to do MBA. So why not Goa? Of course, why not Goa? So many type of ups and downs you have to see definitely what he wants to do. This is very difficult to say because
Yeah.
it's
So
not dependent on
follow-up
choice.
question, as you just mentioned, MBA. If I want him to pursue, or he want to pursue MBA later on, and particularly in finance, then is mechanical Pilani is a better option, or Goa, Hyderabad, electronics and instrumentation is a better option?
Nothing works then.
Okay.
Then many other things work. He should be, should have very good extracurricular activities, very good communication skills, and yeah, nothing works then literally. Yeah, Pratik, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have any other tiebreaker criteria, I would go with Pilani just for the alumni reach.
Pratik, alumni network is everywhere, I believe so.
Yeah, but it's little bit better. I mean, if there's no other criteria that you have, like.
Okay, fine. Okay, Pilani, because okay, fine. I understand, but the thing is that the network is already there. Everyone has the access of that network. Even Hyderabad is very new, Goa is very new, and if someone is like 1970s or 1980s person from Pilani, it's not that they deny helping the newbies. Nothing of that sort happened. But fine.
If you don't have criteria, I mean, what else you can use?
That's a personal choice.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine. Good.
Thank you.
Welcome, sir.
Aditya Tripathi is there, I believe. Aditya.
Yes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
So, sir, I've got 3 doubts. The first one is, how is the ENI branch at Goa and Hyderabad? And in terms of placement, which is better, Goa or Hyderabad? Also, is it possible to pursue mechanical with AI and robotics?
Guys, you first two answer. I can answer the third one because I
Yes,
come
sir.
from exactly. I was working with Center for Robotics and Intelligent System only, and I was a mechanical guy. So definitely, it is there, and AI definitely deals with a computer science background. So whether you choose in even the robotics deals with 3 type of stuff: the computer science, mechanical, and electronics. 3 things. It's a combination of 3 things. You cannot
Yes, sir.
definitely do all 3. You choose one thing, right? So with mechanical, definitely robotics is there, but robotics is a combined field of 3 branches. So with or any of the this thing, branch, you can enter into robotics if that is your aim. So this is one thing. Talking specifically about, you said something about ENI in Goa and
ENI in
Hyderabad.
Goa and Hyderabad. Yes.
Well, this is a very subjective, this is a tricky question. I don't know. These recent people can answer it. Anyone wants to take this, guys?
I would say that in terms of placements, the companies that come to all the 3 campuses are identical only. So, and they don't differentiate in terms of the quality of the students because everyone's BITSians. So, I wouldn't say that the placement in terms of the opportunities would be very different. So the opportunity that you would get in Goa would be same or similar as compared to what you would get in Pilani or Hyderabad. And the course structure is also the same everywhere. So again, it boils down to the peer group and the students in each campus and that particular batch as well. All right, thanks. Thank you.
Next question, Mr.
Yeah,
Atharva.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, sir.
One question regarding higher education and technical side. I mean, if my son want to pursue MTech from IIT, so if he is eligible with the dual degree, I mean, he can appear.
It has no relation with. If he wants to do MTech later here, he can do anything.
I mean, if the dual degree is at par with any BTech as far as concerned, eligibility wise.
Sir, eligibility wise doesn't matter. You are going to get two different degrees. Very, for example, you get mechanical and economics. Comes MSc economics and mechanical. You are going to get 2D. They are eligible for anything, whatever. Yeah. So it's not that okay, since you come with a dual degree, so you are not eligible. It doesn't go like that. It is everyone is eligible.
Fine. And another question is, which campus is best for electrical and electronics engineering branch?
Well, in this case, probably I should be a little bit biased about Pilani, if you don't mind, guys, because Pilani has, in fact, I believe when I was there, the Tripoli was the best because Pilani has the Oyster Lab, ONAB, we call it, I think. It is there only in Pilani and IIT Madras, I think. Only so basically, this lab is there, and beside Pilani, there is a CIRI, Center for Electrical and Electronics Research Institute. So where first TV was made in the basically. So I will definitely say Pilani is
the best.
Pilani is the best. That I can definitely say.
Yeah, most of the people have actually come through have definitely told that Pilani is not just among the top among the BITS campuses, but also among all the Indian engineering colleges. Tripoli Pilani is one of the best, is what many people have told me.
Yeah, there is a NAB also. There is a huge investment. 200 crore NAB is there. That's ONAB, which is there in one of the IITs, Kanpur or Hyderabad, and in Pilani only. And it is very professional level. It is for Tripoli people, they use it.
Thank you so much.
Next,
Yeah,
can we?
most welcome. Arnav, are you there?
Yes, sir. Am I
Yeah,
audible?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
not visible yet.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Arnav.
So I had three questions. So first one is I wanted to ask what is the basic difference between electrical and electronics, electronics and instrumentation, and electronics and communication branches in BITS? What is the basic difference between these three branches?
But I cannot answer this. I don't deal with electronics.
Arjun,
Anyone,
yeah, Arjun and Karthik, I think you need
should
to chip
answer.
in.
Overall, like I said earlier, 80% or 90% of the course is same. Like the electives that are offered to most of them are kind of similar and overlapping. As far as I think, some of the CS electives are like available to the EC guys, some of them, but not to EEE and ENI because it's kind of bent towards the core a little bit more, and vice versa. So some of the EC electives may not be available for the some of the EEE electives may not be available for the EC guys. So that's how it works, as far as I know.
Okay.
Overall, the course is the same because all the students in all the three Phoenix branches, they were studying the same subjects in their second year. And that's what I saw. And depending on their interest, they would be taking separate electives, either finance or computing and intelligence. But apart from that, most of their subjects are the same.
Okay. And secondly, if we choose to enter BITS through that MSc program and then later on choose any technical branches, how difficult is it to cope up with both the degrees together?
So like it would be challenging. Definitely, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. It would be definitely challenging because you have to complete 2 degrees in like next semester, next year in my third year, I would be managing both my MSc Economics and my EC degree. My second year was just MSc Economics. So as a dual degree student, you will be maxing out 24 credits. That is on average 8 courses every semester. You won't have a choice. You'll have to do this to complete your degree on time. Otherwise, it will be delayed. So, but on the other hand, the single degree students, some of them, they maxed out their courses this sem. Like they did 25 credits or 24 credits. And now they only have to do like 14 credits or 16 credits next sem and something like that. They don't have that much of a pressure. But as a dual degree student, you'll have a constant pressure. But to be honest, after a point, you get used to it. For me, 8 courses is like normal. After doing 3 semesters of 21 credits, 24 credits, and 24 credits, it's normal.
Okay.
And apart from this, also, you get enough time to explore your interests.
Okay. And can you please elaborate on those summer internships that are provided, those paid, extra paid courses in BITS?
Yeah, so summer internships are a little bit different. I'm not sure if you're talking about summer internships or PS. So summer internship is like all the single degree students would be eligible to start applying for summer internships in their 3-1. So most of the interviews and stuff will kind of happen in the next semester. And then after that, it comes like summer internships are available for different roles, but a lot of students actually go for IT. And so the thing with summer internship is you do a summer internship during the time you're supposed to do your PS. But because you have to do those 20 credits that is necessary that you would have done as a normal, that you would have done by attending a PS station, you have to stay back on campus and do a thesis. So that's the thing. The only difference with summer internship is it kind of gives a higher chance for a PPO. So if you get an SI, there's a decent chance you would get a pre-placement offer and you don't need to worry about sitting for the campus placements.
Okay.
And the companies that come for SI are also like pretty high-end and top tier.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Okay, great. Quite technical answer actually, but hoping Arnav, you got it. So
yes, sir.
Great. Thanks, Karthik, for it. Adi Pandey.
Yeah, so am I audible and visible?
Yes, both.
Yeah, so I had 3 questions. Firstly, the practice school, could any one of you elaborate on that? And is it like, how different is it from the summer internships and that? Secondly, basically it's like a comparison between Pilani CS and Goa CS. I'll try my best to better my rank in my better my marks in the second attempt, but I'd just like to know what are the differences, because in the placements, the other two they are advancing rapidly. And secondly, like a comparison between Pilani ECE and Goa CSE, because I've heard 1 or 2 differing opinions on this. I'd just like to take more opinions. Yeah. That's
Prateek, you want to?
Yeah, I can. Let's take the first one. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I just like to know more about the practice school, the PS1, PS2. I've heard about that.
So practice school is it's a program of BITS where BITS finds multiple. There are a lot of companies that comes to BITS, and BITS is tied up with all these companies, and you do your one of the semesters in by going in those companies. It's like a course, you get credits for it, and you gain some industry experience. That is for one of the practice schools. That's the more important one. There is something called as PS1 also, which you do just after a second year. It's a smaller course. It's like a summer internship, follows the same pattern, gain some industry experience. It's a 5-credit course. Everything is management of finding the practice school and getting you ready for all that is taken care by BITS. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
I believe that answers the first question.
Yeah.
Go ahead with the second one.
Yeah.
Second was, I think, Goa CS versus BIT CS. What is the main
Pilani CS, just like a comparison.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't think you can compare the two. You have to compare the campuses. I think there is no better or worse. Both are equally good.
Yeah.
Depends on what you want from which, like the campuses are different, the locations are different. So it comes down to your personal choice.
Okay, yeah. Like, the cutoffs are obviously there, but in like if things don't happen the way I want them to in my session 2, like say I go for the second choice or whatsoever, like is there any giant difference? Because I've seen like certain companies go for the targeted campus only. Is it like that, or?
I don't think there is any software company that does that anymore. Right. Maybe it used to happen way back 15-20 years back. Now there is no difference. And even if a company chooses not to come to Goa campus and only go to Pilani, it doesn't matter in the long term. Within 1 or 2 years, it will not matter which campus you did your master's or bachelor's at all.
Okay. Thank you.
You have one more question, right?
Yeah. In fact, Karthik, I think you wanted to add something.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that from what I've heard from a lot of people, that Pilani CS is comparable to top IITs, like top 5 IITs, the computer science branches over there. So that's what I've heard. And I've heard that there was just one company that came to Pilani and didn't come to the other 2 branches, like other 2 campuses. And that was just one company. So it didn't make a lot of difference in the placements. Overall, the computer science, if you have a choice between Pilani and Goa, I would say that prefer Pilani over Goa.
Yeah.
But again, if you like in terms from an academic and peer group standpoint, but if you have other choices, you can definitely go the other way. There's no harm. Like it won't be, you won't lose out on anything. That's what I would like to say.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
Next. Who's the next? Atun, you are muted. If you are saying something. We have Johan.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Johan's mother. Actually, I was listening into the conversation, and I think we got most of the questions answered. But I just have one of the things that I'd like to ask, which is we normally have a minimum, everybody's been talking of a CGPA that needs to be maintained across semesters. For the first semester, particularly the first year, is there a minimum CGPA or criteria that has to be maintained?
For what, madam?
For the first year, for all the
For reaching
subjects?
to second year, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, like 33% marks type. I think nothing of that sort happened. Yeah, you need to have, I think, grades that triple E
Yes, sir,
should not be. Double E, yeah.
There's a compulsion of 4.5 CG, sir. Like it shouldn't go below 4.5, so that the associations and all, they will start pushing you if it is below 4.5 CG.
Okay, okay. My next question is, how structured are these courses, especially the IT and the computer science courses, as compared to probably the Delhi colleges here or the NITs across the country? Are they on par or better or?
Yeah, Karthik, in fact, you might have many friends from Delhi only.
Yeah. I was about to say that I have some of my friends in NSUT, and one of them is doing computer science plus artificial intelligence. So the striking difference was that for their electives, some of their electives are not actually taught. They don't go to classes for those electives. They're just given recorded sessions, and you listen to those sessions and then you go and give the exam. That's not at all the case in BITS. Any course you take, it will be properly taught by the instructors. So there isn't anything that any instructor would say, okay, here are the videos, you can just go and see this, and you'll just appear for the exam directly. There's nothing like that. So everything is properly taught. If you have doubts, you can talk to them. And if you're interested further in exploring that particular branch, you can definitely go and take up a project under the instructor, or whatever fancies you. So you can do that. But that's the striking difference that I saw, that some of the courses are not properly taught. That was like a shock to me.
True. Some of them you have to go online and probably get a certificate. I agree. So that was a nice point. I think that's one of the deciding factors. The third question, actually, I had two more. So this was the third one. Placement, like all other places, these placement guidances are given prior to the start of the placement season. How does it work? How active is the placement across the branches?
Did you mean how the placements are for different branches, or like what's
Yes,
the process?
yeah. Is there some kind of an orientation given to the people and before the start of the placement season that holds them in good stead when they actually go for the placement rounds?
Yeah, I think I can answer for Pilani campus, and I guess it won't be very different for Goa or Hyderabad. Just before you are given a choice to opt for a semester in which you will be sitting for the placements, and just before the season starts, the placement coordinator organizes a session where they will just give you all the orientation, what the process is going to look like. And then there are orientations given by individual companies when they come for the interviews. And I think it's similar for all the branches. It's just that for some of the branches, you'll have more companies, but the process is exactly the same.
Right. I think you've answered it pretty much. The fourth question that I had was actually more like a follow-up. I don't want to sound negative, but because like we said, most of the courses are the same, and it actually depends on the cutoffs your child has or probably the interest levels. But there are goes without saying that the computer science students would obviously have an edge. But the EC or the mechanical students, do they get left out? Everybody boasts of 100% placement, but how does that actually work? And what happens to students who don't really get placed then?
So I have a perspective on that. The only in terms of opportunities, first of all, it's almost the same. It's just the path to the same opportunity is a little bit harder for other branches. For a CS branch student, it's because they are taught all the programming and all the courses which the companies are looking for. It's just easier for them to crack and do well in the job. In other branches, you have to put extra effort, but you will have opportunities. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
Yeah. So let me be direct. Will they be allowed to sit for the placements? Because I have heard instances at other places where, they are the last of the lot, let's say. The courses, yeah, other than the mechanical ones. And then they get to sit at the last season. So then it's almost like a mass recruitment where they get into non-core jobs. The whole idea is that if the child is going through the 4 years of engineering, he'd like to definitely get a better placement. So I was just wondering if these kids lose out on placement opportunities simply because they couldn't sit or they couldn't clear it. Because yeah.
Short answer is no. For all the top companies, like the day one companies, that's the term we use during placements for the higher paying companies. I haven't seen, I don't think there is, maybe there are hardly a few companies which do that, but everybody is allowed to sit for their tests and everybody is eligible for the, whoever passes the test for the interviews. Maybe in the, when the placement season progresses in the day 3 and so on, there are some companies which are brand specific, but all the software companies, the higher paying companies do not do that. Even I have people working with me who did not even go to any college. So as long as you're doing what the companies are looking for, it doesn't matter.
Okay,
it's just path to the companies a little bit different for different people.
Right. Thanks so much for being patient with my questions. Thank you. Back to you, Atul.
Thanks, Pratik. So, Ashna is there?
Dear friends, could you please switch on your videos? I mean, it looks very different, talking to just a blank screen.
Yeah, Ashna.
Hi, I have 3 doubts. The first one is, according to my J mains percentile, I'm getting CS in AI in IGTTU, which is a government college in Delhi, and it has very good placements. But according to my BITSAT score, I am getting triple E and integrated courses in all the branches that fall below that in Hyderabad and Goa. And in Pilani, I'm not getting triple E or MSc. I don't have an inclination towards a particular branch, but I've talked to some people and everyone's told me that triple E is actually really hard if you're not very interested in that. And eventually everyone goes into computer jobs. But I wanted to go to BITS. So what would you suggest I do? How do I balance that?
Guys, who wants to take this? Current students?
Well, yeah. So, like you mentioned, yes, Triple E is actually one of the toughest branches to crack and to get graduated. You've mentioned that you've got CS, computer science, in another college, a government university in Delhi, right?
Yeah.
So, if you're actually looking for better scope and you don't want much of pressure, maybe you would have to go for computer science. But if you're really interested to come to BITS and that you've told me that you're not inclined to any branch, right? So you might also go for Triple E in that case. Like nobody actually told that Triple E has a very less scope or something. Yes, Triple E does have a good scope, but it's just that it's a little difficult to graduate. If you just put your mind into it and if you're interested in doing the subject, eventually it'll end you up in a good place, is what I can say.
Yeah, I would like to add on to this that I was not in the exact same, but in a similar situation. My JEE mains rank was around 10,000. So I was on the borderline of getting many colleges in Delhi. But I felt that after a point that the BITS brand also would make a lot of difference in the long run. And from what I've experienced, it does. I can't say from NSUT or IGTW standpoint, but I would say the BITS name actually has a lot of brand value in the industry. So when you're from BITS, it gives you a lot of credibility. And if you don't have any particular interest right now and you just want to go with what you feel would be the safest option, I would say, yeah, that go with computer science. But again, it goes down to personal preferences. You may like Phoenix, you may not like Phoenix. Phoenix means EEE, ECE, But then again, the peer group that you would be getting in these places would, in BITS, definitely would, I can say, be better than what you would get in the Delhi colleges. That's what I would say. Because there's no quota system. Because there's no quota system in BITS. Everyone comes here based on their merit. So you're definitely guaranteed to get a pretty decent peer group. And that's what matters.
Okay, my second question is that if I opt for dual degree, would you say that's an advisable option, and how likely am I to be able to get CS after that?
See, dual degree in terms of actually getting computer science is doable. I'm not saying it'll be difficult, it will be easy, it's doable. It all depends how quickly you figure out how to study those particular subjects. Because when you come into college, it's the first time you're introduced to relative grading. And everything is a shock. You have questions that are like 20 marks each. You never had that kind of exposure. Like in the exam, there are only 3 questions. So the quicker you figure it out, the easier it will be. If you put in the efforts, it's definitely easy to get CS. I had at the end of my first year, I had a CGPA of 7.87, and the cutoff for CS was 7.89. And my first sem CG was 7.97. So I would say that it's not difficult to get that kind of a CG. The faster you figure it out, the better it will be for you. That's what I would say. Because there's a knack to studying subjects in college. You don't have to learn everything. You don't have to understand everything. You just need to learn the concepts, and that will get you through. That's the main point.
I'd like to add on to this one actually. So from my personal experience, I would tell you, attend all the classes. Although there's a criteria called 0% attendance, attend all the classes. That's the key to get a good CGPA in the examinations. I'm just telling you from my experience. So yeah.
No, I agree. Like after attending all classes, the extra effort you actually have to put in, it reduces drastically. I experienced that this semester. So
by the way, same question Karthik had 2 years back when he was there. Like you are there in the session 2 years back. His mother, I don't know how many times he called me. So now Karthik is panelist. Maybe next year, next to next year, you can be one of them.
Okay, thank you. And my last question is that I read somewhere that BITS calls for physical reporting after whatever round you get selected or something. I'm not very sure about that. Can you please explain?
Yeah, it's just like an orientation process, I would say. It's just verification of all the certificates. That's it. So whichever campus you have been allotted the seat, you have to go to that campus, report there. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
After which round?
Like usually it's 5th round, after 5th iteration.
Okay, that's all. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Pavitra.
Hope you see me, hear me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I'm asking questions on behalf of my daughter. So there are 3 queries that I put across. The first one is, suppose assuming that I end up taking MSc Maths dual, what is the probability of avoid getting civil, mech, and chemical, being my daughter is not interested in any of these 3, chemical, mech, and civil, but circuit and core other branches are okay. So what is the probability that I may end up or I can avoid these 3 after taking MSc Maths? Or a cutoff, or what is the, some elucidation of like how many people end up like this, or things, or maybe a cutoff wise, or maybe something like that. I want to understand the probability.
Yeah, so I'm actually a student in MSc Mathematics, and coming to your question, this time we had 13 students of mathematics and ended up in computer science after their first year. And around 30 people ended up in.
And it is in which Pilani or Hyderabad?
I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay.
Okay. So, and then we had around 30 people in MSc Mathematics who have ended up in EEE, EC, and ENI combined. And the rest of the students were given mechanical. Like this time, they have completely neglected the seats for civil and chemical. Only those people who have put civil or chemical in their preferences, they were the only ones who've got those branches. So coming to your question, like I would say around 30% of the students in math have got mechanical, 30 to 40%.
So if I don't put mechanical, civil, chem as an option, still I may end up getting these things.
Yeah, it all depends on your daughter's efforts. If she's working well in her first year and she manages to get a good grade, she will end up in circuital branches, or if not, computer science as well.
If you do not put, you may not get DON at all. That also
No. If I'm not putting mechanical, civil, and chemical only, but I'm putting other things. So is there a chance that still I end up getting mech or civil because the score is low, the CGPA?
You won't get anything.
No,
or
you
how
won't
the
get.
CGPA should be to avoid these things?
You won't get anything.
No, you will not get. If you did not put a branch in your preferences list, you won't get that branch at all.
So I still end up getting E&I or something like that.
Speaking, no. I think, sir, it is very same as any counseling process, I believe.
Sorry?
So it would be very similar to any counseling process. If you are not eligible and you have put that as the preference, you won't get it. What you are eligible and you have not put it, then you won't get it.
No, the question is, will I study only MSc and then graduate out?
Yes.
Or, see, for example, I am putting only CS and ECE and I'm not putting anything else. And say that the CGPA is not, I'm not able to get into this. So will I be allotted by default anything from their end, or I end up doing only MSc Math and then come out?
Only end up doing only MSc Math and come out.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So what is the cutoff in MSc Math CGPA for after first year to get any of E&I, ECE, EEE or CS? CS, I think someone said that 7.98 to be able to get.
7.89.
But
and as far as I remember, for the circuital branches, it went down to around 7, I guess, 7.1 or something like that. Maybe I'm not sure if it's a 6.8, 6.9 or a 7, but it wasn't that high. See, if you put in decent efforts in your first year, which isn't that difficult, and especially if you're a dual degree student, you know in the back of your head that if you don't work a little bit hard, you might end up getting a degree worse than what you would have gotten with your BITSAT score. So if you put in some amount of hard work, it isn't difficult to get above a 7.3 or a 7.4 GPA. It isn't. Like people who just give up on studies and put in bare minimum efforts, they're the ones who get around 6.5 or a 6.6. If you're decently dedicated, it's not difficult to score. Because in the end, it's relative grading. If you just solve one more question than the other person, you're like 40 or 50 ranks ahead because each question is worth like 20 or 30 marks. So that's what happens.
Okay. So the second question is, suppose, say I'm taking a circuit branch, E&I or EEE or whatever, but my core interest lies in computer science. So in terms of taking projects, or for example, you said about minors. So will I be able to do a projects or intern in computer related? Intern, you said that it's open. Most companies don't prefer, don't have any priority of the branches. So I assume that intern with EEE, you can go to IT, technology, tech company. But what about the projects that we do? I believe there is a project course also. So there will be required to do in the core EEE or something like that only, or a project can be on anything.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're talking about formal or informal projects or the projects that are accompanied along with the courses. Because in some of the courses, you have projects that are built in as an assessment criteria. So like for finance, I had one of the projects, let me take an example of computer science, like you said. For them, they had to build a website or a demo website using Java. So that was an assessment criteria as like it was listed in their handout. It had like a 20% or a 30% weightage. If you're talking about that, then if your daughter opts for this particular elective, she would have to do that as as part of the assessment. But as far as I think, if you take up a project, an informal project you can take up in any field. I'm not sure about the formal projects. If you have an interest in a particular field, you can just talk to the particular instructor. They don't actually give a lot of weightage to what branch you're from. If you have an interest in their field, they'll ask you some basic questions. You can pick up an informal project under the professor and they'll guide you, as needed.
Okay.
So there isn't any restriction on that.
Thank you. So one last question, it is slightly opposite of what many others are asking. Assume that you end up in computer science branch, but particularly about a core technology company like NVIDIA or I don't know what, but assuming Intel or NVIDIA. So those companies prefer CS or ECE, or for them it doesn't matter? Because our financial companies, you said nothing matters. But this kind of a core tech companies, which is in a particular domain like
I would say that in that situation, it would be a little bit difficult because most of the EC and the Phoenix graduates would have much more experience as compared to a computer science graduate. And it would be very difficult for like that student to actually try and learn whatever the Phoenix guys are learning. Because as a Phoenix person, it's easy to learn coding or learn 2 or 3 courses and sit for the placements and learn DSA on the side and appear for the coding interviews. But the other way around, it's difficult because the core companies actually do value whatever courses you've taken in that particular subject and what were your grades and stuff like that. So the other way around would be difficult.
Core means, I mean, the tech companies like Intel and all.
It would be difficult the other way around. You being a computer science graduate and trying to sit for placements in a core company, that would be difficult.
Thank you. That's all from me.
Okay, great. Krishna Rohan.
Companies, the circuit branches.
Yeah.
The students and the circuit students are on the.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Can you please switch on the video also, if possible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My straight question is very simple question. This is regarding places. What is counseling? Okay, my son has got around 219 marks, expecting maybe mechanical in Hyderabad, and he has even got a score in local engineering MSET. So he is expecting in Osmania. So my straight question is whether I should I participate and get admitted into BITS, or shall I wait for second round or third round to get good means top branch than mechanical? Which one is the procedure?
May I ask one question regarding the branch in Osmania University? Like, which branch is he getting in Osmania?
ECE is getting.
Sorry?
ECE.
ECE. Okay, so Osmania University, if we can check among the local colleges, it is actually among the top 2 colleges, among the local colleges with MSET criteria.
Yes.
However, BITS College, of course, has its own brand value. No matter what branch you do, if you say you're from BITS, you do have some recognition. And yeah, so in that case, if your son is really into mechanical, he can go for BITS Mechanical. But like you've told, if you want to wait for second round as well, yes, you can wait, because there might be a chance to get circuital branches as well with 219 marks. I'm not completely sure based on previous year's cutoffs.
And my question is, sir, whether I need to admit it or shall I wait just like that, ignoring the choice?
You can wait if you're really considering BITS as an option. You can wait.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, not taking the option of first round and still I can exercise second round.
Sorry, could you repeat it, please?
See, if I have not exercised my option in first round.
Okay.
But still, will I get the chance to exercise in second round?
No. For example, once you fill the preferences, the same preferences would be continued for all the iterations, all the rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
but the exact details on whether you can freeze your seat and just like book like freeze your position and still participate in the process, like that's specific to the like documentation of the counseling rounds. I'm not really sure because people did get branch upgrades, but I'm not really sure what the process is for continuing in the iteration process, because I freezed my allotment in the first round itself.
Okay. First round, if I miss it, still am I able to sit
Yeah.
first?
People did get a lot of upgrades. They got upgrades between campuses as well. So you can definitely do that. But the exact process you'll have to clarify from the documentation for the counseling process. That would be available on the website, I guess.
Well, as far as I know, if you want to continue in the process further for the further rounds, you have to not freeze your option, whatever you have got in the first round. If you want to continue for second round, you're not supposed to freeze that option, is what I can say. If you freeze that option, your iterations will be stopped. Your counseling process will be stopped.
Then how can we go slide up in next iterations?
It just depends on your preferences and the score.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to carefully choose your preferences.
Okay, right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's like if you're allotted a degree in the first round itself, and still you want to continue, as far as I remember, you have to pay some fixed amount. Then only you are continued for the further rounds.
Acha, that is what I wanted to ask.
Exactly.
Okay, right. Thank you.
That is there. Varsha, maybe then you can also add about the refund process also. I think they give a very big time window for refund, right?
Yes, sir. Like as the round passes, and there will be a particular slot for every round if they're willing to draw back the seat. And I am not sure, but if there is any cut in the cut amount, they will be deducting a little amount and then pay back the rest of the amount. When I was paying my fees, it was like I have to pay some 50,000 to freeze my seat, and for return it was some 45 to 48,000 they were giving me back. So they just take barely 2 to 5,000 if you are freezing the seat and withdrawing later.
Okay, that's not a big deal. Okay. Anything? Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Meher is there? Hello, Meher. Can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I'm Meher's father, sir. I have just one question to ask, sir. My daughter is keen on pursuing M design post her BTech. So which stream would you recommend that she should go in for in case she wants to pursue M design after her BTech, sir?
Pratik, anyone of your colleagues in design?
What is M design? Can you?
Masters of Design.
In design, is it hardware chip design or did you mean something else?
I believe
something to do with UXI, sir. XUI.
Sorry, what? XUI?
Sir. So it's UXUI, sir.
User interface.
User interface. Okay. Okay. So that's not related to hardware. You can get into it rather easier compared to backend design. It's related to software. And if you're simply just wanting to design the templates for the user experience and not actually build it, it's even easier. There are a lot of, right now, there are a lot of product design courses out there. You can start with that. Doesn't matter which branch you choose. I don't think we have a branch specific to that. I think you're tending towards product design from what I hear.
Yes, sir. So it is okay if in case she gets into mechanical also and she can go in for design thereafter.
Doesn't matter. As I said, sir, you can go into any branch. This is a product design end of things. So it's more on you understanding the customer and how the whole user experience journey. We don't have a a branch specific to this kind of expertise. So you can go into any of the branches. You have to show interest and learn on your own. But if you want to build it, if you want to build the user experience and write the code, then that is a software end.
So I had just one more query, sir. My daughter, she had given her JEE paper 2, and she got a all India rank of 178, sir. So most likely she'll get her choice in SPA also, SPA Delhi, sir, for architecture. So you feel, should I go in for mechanical and then go in for M design, or should she go in for architecture, sir? She has an app. She wants to go in for design, basically, sir.
Architecture is entirely different. It is you're designing buildings, and it's a different thing. But from what I understand from your question, it would be better to go into an engineering field, rather a core engineering field like mechanical, so that you can understand how a product is designed from the engineering perspective, so that you can understand how user experience can look like for a product. Architecture is more on designing buildings. So I would suggest go with mechanical.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
I can hear.
Yes. Who is that? In Bajrang from?
Yeah, in Bajaj. Sorry.
Yeah, in Bajaj. Yeah.
You know, I just jumped in. Sorry for this, but okay. Just to give, I know the question which Meher's, I think, father asked, just to help him out. If I don't know it's good forum or not, but okay, just I'll take 1 minute.
Yeah,
She might
sure, please.
be in an architecture. She did an BArch also, like you, Meher's father. I think they're saying she's getting a very good institute for architecture, and now she's pursuing master in design from DTU, Delhi Technological University, in UI UX. So yeah, you can contact me directly. I don't know if you want, but okay, I can help you on that.
Right. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so she's doing, she did architecture, now she's doing M design, what you said, from DTU. Sorry, I jumped in, but okay,
No,
I
no.
just helping him out.
It would be good only.
Thank you very much, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Then we have iPhone, but I think, can you please rename and ask the doubt? Hello? Are you there? Okay, we can go to, there is Atul Sharma.
Atul, I think I can take up the question from iPhone because they DM'd me. I don't know, maybe
Okay,
they
okay.
don't.
Okay.
Questions.
Sure, Pratik. Yeah.
First one was MSc
Hello.
versus
Pratik,
Yeah.
you can, in that case, please tell us what the question was.
Yeah. So the question was MSc Economics versus MSc Maths, which is better with respect to academic load and get a good capacity score as to get BTech honors. So in your first year, doesn't matter which master's degree you opt for. In the first year, courses are same. So and the BTech degree is determined on the basis of your CGPA in first year. So it doesn't matter which MSc degree you choose for your BTech degree. But in terms of the academic load, MSc Economics is lighter compared to Maths. I would say much lighter. Maths has some really hard courses which people really struggle. Economics is a lot more practical. People already said that. And it's more on behavioral side that what I have seen in BITS. Not a lot of mathematics, so it should be easier. Second question is for dual degree, what are the chances of getting case ECE and how many seats are set aside for case ECE for dual degree? I think more recent people can answer this.
So what was the question specifically? How many?
I think they're asking how many years or ECE.
Hello.
Yeah, now you're audible.
Yeah, it was my question. It was regarding for when we take MSc Eco and we go in for a dual degree in this, So what are the chances of getting CSE, computer science or EC? And in which campus the chances are better to get a CS? Is it that it's easier in any one of the campuses?
So I would say, yeah, I got your question. So I would say that it is a little bit more. I was getting economics in Pilani as well, and it's a little bit difficult to get computer science over there, because again, it all goes down to relative grading. In Pilani, I would say the average CGPA would be higher than Hyderabad or Goa, so it would be more difficult. A lot of my friends I know, they got chemical and ENI and stuff like that in Pilani. A few of them got CS. But in Hyderabad, I would say, I think so in any campus, the majority of the seats for CS, like I would say in MSc Economics, around 50% or around 40% of them got computer science. And the rest of the 40%, they got the secretarial branches, and 20%, which is hardly 5 or 6 students, they got like the lower branches. So after going into MSc Economics, if you take MSc Economics, you have like a pretty decent chance of actually getting computer science. And the best chance from my experience would be Hyderabad, then Goa, then Pilani. But again, it all depends from year to year and batch to batch. It might be easy, it might be difficult.
And there are some X number of seats which have been kept back for these students.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there are a certain number of seats that are reserved for dual degree students to be allotted in each branch. But as far as I know, that number changes every year. There isn't any fixed number.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Also, adding on to your first question, you've asked which one's better, MSc Economics or MSc Math, right? So if you actually want to look for workload and stuff like Prateek has mentioned, yes, MSc Economics is lighter, like way lighter, like he has mentioned. But however, for the future branches, for example, let's just say you end up in EEE or EC, you have some courses like, there are some courses which actually use lots of mathematics over there, like lots of concepts in mathematics that you've learned in your second year and maybe your third year as well. And even applied mathematics is used a lot in computer science. So if you actually want to look for ease in the branches of BE from third year, well, I would say mathematics courses are used a lot. The knowledge in the mathematics courses is used a lot, I would say.
Okay.
Great. Thank you for answering. Atul Sharma, can you please unmute?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Although I had understood that the branch change option is better if you take a dual degree program, I was looking into the data that a certain, let us say, number, let's say any branch has 100 seats for B degree. Out of 100, how many are roughly, whether it's 5% or 5 to 10% or 10 to 20 or 20 to 30, what is the ratio as with respect to the initial seat in the BTech branch, which is open for dual degree?
Yeah, Karthik.
No, I was about to say there isn't any fixed number, but I guess we could just add up. So considering that 80 students in MSc Economics and you had approximately 30, 35 a lot, I think so in total 55, not 55, less than that, around 30, 35, 40 people in total across all dual degree students, they got computer science, or I think so it'd be a little bit higher. And
it
overall,
was actually 76 students among the
76. Okay, 76 students were allotted. And computer science in itself has what, 120, 150 students or 180? I'm not sure.
It had 185 students.
180. So you can take the ratio and get an approximate.
Okay.
It's pretty high and you have a decent chance.
And you gave an example for computer science. This is more or less for other branches as well. EEE.
Yeah. If you're a dual degree student, like there is a 70% chance you would 70 to 80% chance you would actually end up with the circuitial branch if you don't end up with computer science.
Okay.
But then if your CGP is not that good, then you can't avoid the inevitable of you getting a lower branch.
Okay. And this is true for all the campuses.
Yeah, this is true for all the campuses.
Yeah, my second and the last question is, if somebody wants to pursue biotechnology, so this recipe or combination, somehow it's not there in BITS campuses. So how one can start with probably MSc biology. Maybe, but if he goes to, let us say, dual degree mechanical, he can learn biomechanics.
Yeah, so I have one of my friends, he's also just completed his second year. He actually has MSc Bio and has electronics and communication. But because he has interest in artificial intelligence and machine learning, he's learning that on his own and is building like neural networks and AI ML models to run on, let's say, a test sample of X-ray images or MRIs to detect for heart disease and stuff like that. So if you want to go into that side, after getting MSc Bio, you have the basic know-how. And then after that, it depends on your interest, which area you want to explore. See, as per the course requirement, you will have to do these things. You'll have to complete whatever courses you're needed. But apart from that, you have more than enough time to actually explore what you're interested in. We have people from different branches doing really different things. We have YouTubers, we have people who are doing full-time trading. They're earning like 10 to 15,000 every day. So you have a variety of people. The branch you get into is just may or may not be of your interest, but then you have a lot of time to explore other things like along the side. So there isn't any, and because of the zero attendance policy, you can actually place weightage on what you feel is more important.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Sir, was your question like how is biotech related to other courses? Like how you can integrate this?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, like one example I can give was one of my seniors, he's from biotech and he's in civil with me. So he have a chance of doing like what he's thinking was to do an environmental engineering, which is a related combination of those two. Like somehow he can make these two together and become an environmental engineering in civil. So there are like, yes, we can't entirely mix biotech and CS and all, but we can come to some common platform.
Yeah, that I understand. Thanks.
Okay, great. Then we have someone with ID. Can you please rename and switch on your video? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening. My question is, what is the scope of B Pharma?
B Pharma. Varsha?
Whether B Pharma also to be with B Pharma also we can do the dual degree or?
No, sir. B Pharma is entirely different. It's different from BTech and dual degrees and all.
Okay.
B Pharma, there's nothing like dual degree. It is separate. Like they only have B Pharma, and if they are joining in B Pharma, they'll all like and always be in B Pharma and those completely related to that only.
What is the future scope in B Pharma?
Sir, I have not that much idea, but as far as I heard, yes, there is a good scope in pharmacy and all with that.
Yeah, Karthik, if you want to add, otherwise
I was about to say that being a pharma student, you don't actually compete with the majority of the students in the college, considering that you only compete within your branch. Through open electives, you can take some courses, but you're kind of fixed to the pharma sector only, unless you have like a completely different interest and you work on your own separately and go for an off-campus interview.
Exactly.
But apart from that, you can't like appear for interviews for a different branch and stuff like that. I don't think so. Pharma is open to, like, most of them are open to all branches, but I think so pharma is excluded in those situations.
Yeah, so that's what, just to add what Karthik has mentioned. Suppose like, what is the logic for going for pharma? Is it purely based because we want to go to BITS anyhow, or say it is because of the interest we are going there? So we have friend who is there from pharma, and now he is owning his own, SEO company. So, and he designs website, like a very big firm he is handling. So the thing is, he switched to the completely different aspect. But for him, it was like an entry point to bits, and later he pursued what he really wanted to do. So that's pretty important with what aim we are going there.
Okay, thank you. The next question is scope regarding manufacturing.
Manufacturing. Anyone of you? You three are now the panelists.
Like Pilani is the only campus which offers this branch, so we don't really have that much of idea, to be honest.
Okay. Okay. In that case.
And manufacturing is very much similar to mechanical.
Yes.
So yes, like as far as I got to know from my Pilani friends, they said they get similar companies for placements who hire mechanical and manufacturing people. So scope for manufacturing is all like scope for mechanical, similar.
So wherever production is there, mechanical is also required and manufacturing also required.
Yes.
Okay. And my last question is regarding the choice filling. How do we do the choice filling? Means we go means place wise. Means when you do Pilani computer science, then electronics, then all the subjects, then Goa, then Hyderabad, or Pilani computer science, Goa computer science, Hyderabad computer science. Accordingly, we will do. So, what is your advice?
It depends on your preference.
Oh.
Because I was clearing for circuitous branches in Pilani as well. But my first preference was computer science, then it was MSc economics, then it was circuitous branches. But other people, they fill computer science, then circuitous branches, then MSc economics or a dual degree. My perspective was different. So it kind of depends on your preference on what you like. Do you like the camp? Do you prefer the place? Many people don't usually want to leave the local area, so they kind of prefer the local college. For many of the Hyderabad people, they prefer Hyderabad as a campus. If you want the Pilani tag and you're ready to take a lower branch, you would prefer Pilani campus during the choice filling. So it all goes down to your preferences. There isn't any fixed rule for this.
Okay, thanks. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. So Adi Pandey is there, but I think we had you once earlier. You would have to wait a little bit. Aditya Anand. Yeah, please switch on your video.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Aditya Anand's father, and there are a couple of simple questions. I have it. If I wanted to pursue the dual degree for the mechanical, which MS program should I go for? It's the math or the physics?
Physics,
I think so would be better. Because I've seen some of the courses and one of my friends studying, and it kind of overlaps a lot with the core mechanical courses because they kind of overlap in that sense.
And is it 5 or 4 years, the dual degree?
It's for 5 years.
5 years.
5 years. But the last year is a complete PS only.
If my CGPA is good, will I get a chance to take the admission in the computer engineering?
As a dualite, yes. If your CGPA is good, you would definitely have the chance to. You would be eligible for computer science. So there's no specific criteria for that. And if you don't like your dual degree, if you don't like MSc physics, if you heard stuff in college and you don't prefer it anymore, if your CGPA is actually that good, you can take a vertical transfer to another dual degree. I have friends who took a vertical transfer from maths to economics, from physics to economics. So that happens. That's fine. But it all boils down to your CGPA at the end of the first year.
So does the placement at times can get affected or not? How does it get treated with 5-year course or the 4-year course?
There's nothing like for us dual degree students, we won't sit for placements with people from our batch. We'll be sitting for placements with people from the next batch. That's the only difference. Like we'll be sitting for placements with our juniors. So that's the only difference that would be there.
Just out of the curiosity, the mechanical, which campus would one suggest, which is the best? The Pilani, the Goa, or the Hyderabad?
Most of the people go for Pilani. So according to them, we would say Pilani. But I feel like all three campuses are fine.
Okay. And in the counseling, as you said, that I can't change my choice. Hence, I don't want to get freezed in that because I have to wait till the last round. So, and I should be in the floating. Will I get the same choice or after the final round, or how should one really go and confirm it?
Sir, what you want to ask? Like, do you want to ask? Suppose you have filled 13, 15 choice. Okay?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Now, after the first round, suppose you got your choice number 13. Okay. Now, if you keep the float option ready, Arjun, is it float there in BITS? Do we call it float only?
We're not completely sure. I guess
Okay.
it's not float, but yeah.
Okay. In J, they
Not
call it
freeze.
float. Okay.
Yeah.
But in BITS, it might be slightly different terminology. But idea is you do not freeze it. Okay. Freezing means you have decided that this is the branch and this is the campus with which I'm going forward. Okay. You don't do it. If you don't do it, then in the next round, either you will stick to 13th choice or you might move to 12th or 11th or 9th like that. So this can happen in all the subsequent rounds.
Okay. Thank you.
Most welcome. Sumit is there. Sumit,
Yes,
you want to
good
ask?
evening.
Yeah, good evening. Hello, sir.
Yeah, I had a few questions. So electronics and instrumentation versus electrical and electronics, right? Typically, what's the pattern like placement wise and things? Are students from electronics instrumentation also eligible for companies who come for CAS, E&C?
Yes, 90% of all the companies, their placement criteria is computer science and Phoenix. So Phoenix kind of incorporates EEE, EC, and ENI. So there's no distinction over there. So there's no restriction from a placement point of view, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, right. Or CGPA wise.
Yeah, CGPA, they have like a base cutoff to appear for the
which is common for all.
Yeah, which is common for all. Like they would have a 7.5 or an 8 cutoff. If you're above that, you're eligible to sit for the not the IQ test, the base test that they have, after which you sit for the interview. So you're eligible to sit for that. That's the only criteria they have.
Got it. Okay. The other thing was when we look at these dual degrees, economics, maths, physics, biology, right? So is there like a natural match? Like one of the gentlemen asked previously, right? And we said like with mechanical physics, there is a kind of a relation or that can help later on. Or even for maths, they were saying, I think once you go into electrical, second year, third year, maybe some of that maths concepts.
Yeah, so I would say that economics, maths, and bio are the versatile ones, and physics and chemistry are kind of related to some of the degrees that we have on campus. If you have physics, you can go into mechanical. If you like those two kind of pair together. If you have MSc Chem and then you have chemical engineering, those two pair together. But apart from that, applications of bio, math, and economics, it depends in what branch you're in. So again, it depends on the field. You have maths and computer science, you can go into quant, let's say. You have economics and computer science, you can go into fintech. You have MSc bio and you have computer science, you can go into biotech. So those combinations might be different, but like you said, natural combinations, I would say there are only two.
Okay. And like these days we have this mathematics and computing, which is gaining a lot of traction in a lot of colleges. And I just wanted to understand, like, course content wise, has Pilani upgraded or which branch has elements of this mathematics and computing that comes? I mean, maybe it's computer science and electronics only, but has the course content evolved over years along with AI?
Every year or in a couple of years, like they do introduce new electives. The base structure of the course does not change as far as I know.
Okay.
The electives that are available for students to take, they do change. Like recently in computing and intelligence minor, we were offered a couple of new electives. So the electives change, but overall the course structure remains same. You can take those electives depending on what branch you want to go into. We have the latest, like up-to-date ones, like we have artificial intelligence, we have machine learning, we have cryptography. And those are the ones that I know of. There would be many more, but that's, I think so that answered the question that we do have up-to-date courses.
Okay, okay. Like robotics and artificial, no, there's this.
Like there is a separate minor for robotics and automation. Like when I was filling the minor preferences, but I'm not really sure. Like it is available. You would have definitely courses that would be there in that, but I don't have much knowledge in that.
Okay. Yeah. Last question. When I look at the cutoff for last year, I see a natural affinity for economics. I then followed maths, physics, chemistry, and then probably bio at the end.
Yeah.
All right. So is that like how you see it as well from your side? Somebody who just doesn't care.
Again, like to a certain extent, it is personal preference of the person, but people prefer economics because maths is stressful. No one's gonna say otherwise. It is stressful compared to economics. And I would say if you have maths and economics and you got computer science, the packages are relatively higher because that's what companies actually want. They want mathematical skills, or you have computer science and economics, you can go into the fintech side where people are paying. So that's why you're seeing a natural preference for computer science and mathematics. But apart from that, chemistry, physics, and bio, they're kind of fluid. It depends from batch to batch.
Okay. Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, great. So now we have Krishna. Are you there?
Good evening, everyone. With the score I got in BITSAT, I'm getting a bachelor's in mechanical engineering, civil and stuff, and also MSc courses, like except for economics, I'm getting others. And I really want to try my luck getting computer science after getting into the college. So what should I choose? Should I choose a bachelor's in engineering, or should I choose an MSc degree? Like which would be better? Which way would I have a higher chance?
If you want a short, go with MSc economics. But do keep in mind that your first year would be stressful. You would have a lot of friends who will be going for, like, who will be working in clubs. If you're skilled enough, you would be able to manage both of them. But my first year experience was I had to put in a lot of effort to actually understand how to study in college because everything was new. Again, it depends from person to person. I had a lot of friends who just chilled out, and I had other friends who took it really seriously and got really high CGPAs that it wasn't a doubt that they would actually clear computer science. So if you want a short, you can go for a dual degree. It's not at all a bad option.
And just to add, at times what happens, I feel that when we look at dual degree courses, students after this discussion feel like that once they have entered BITS, now they are short to get something close to computer science and like these three main circuital branches. That's not the case. We have parents who have been in our touch from the previous batches also. And we got to know that after first semester, children were not able to, score that well. So you have to keep that factor in mind for sure. Like just giving like my example, say a person like me who is not very, very, very disciplined, I might not be the best person to just, go and just believe that I'm definitely going to get one of these four branches just because I'm going to MSc. It's like as good as time what you have spent in past 2 years, maybe in that proportion what you spend in college for the next 1 year, only then you would get something like what you are aiming for.
Yeah, that's like I would also say that again, because you study all the subjects in your first year, you're studying subjects from all departments. You're studying computer science courses, you're studying mechanical courses, you're doing a variety of courses. So you might do some well in some, you might not do well in others. The thing with first semester high GPAs is that, you know, that JE momentum kind of carries you through. So you still have that zeal that, okay, I can study, I'll work hard, I can still do that. But do keep in mind, a lot of people still have that zeal. So again, because of relative grading, it kind of goes down to where you were initially when you kind of entered the campus. That's why in my first semester, I had a 7.97 and then it came down to a 7.87. So it depends on you. There may be a drop, there may not be a drop, but definitely when you enter your first year, there would be some courses you like, some you don't like. Many of the maths courses that I took, I didn't like some of them, but you know, I still managed to scrape together and get an average B or a B minus. But yeah, if you don't study, then definitely you won't get a grade and you won't get a good grade. You'll get Ds or C minuses, and then your CGP would be really low and you won't be able to clear like the base branches as well. So that would definitely be an issue, but it's doable if you put in the efforts.
Okay, let's say that I'm able to push through it, but like, what's the probability of getting a computer science if I'm in BE, and what's the probability if to get computer science if I'm in MSc?
When you're in BE, the CGPA that you have to clear is like sir said, 9.2, 9.3 for a vertical transfer. But when you're a dual degree, the CGPA, like I said, you have to clear is a 7.89. And so that's a big difference. And that's a considerable difference if you take into consideration you're just entered college and you're still trying to figure out how to study. So you can't ignore that fact that it is relatively much easier to get through a dual degree.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Great. Mr. Bajaj.
Hi, yeah, good evening, everyone. Just one question in relation to what I think some people already asked. So I think you replied also. One thing, suppose we get a dual degree in physics. Now, after 1 year, I think, Karthik, you specified that we can have a change in our dual degree program also, like from physics, we can go to economics, right? So in parallel, I think so that works like, okay, we go from physics to economics, plus we get a dual degree engineering, maybe in STRU or computer something. So it works together, right?
Yeah, it works together. So when you have your preferences form, you can fill your preference for a higher dual degree and simultaneously can fill a preference for your BTech degree. So you can definitely do that. But please keep in mind, like for a dual degree transfer, vertical transfer also, especially to MSc Economics, the CGPA is quite high, like an 8.5 or an 8.6. So it's not low, it is considerable. So please keep that in mind as well.
But that works for both the things, right? So the 8.5 will work for going from physics to eco, and maybe, you know, a person gets a degree, maybe like I say, instrumentation or
Yeah. Your CGPA would be considered for both, for vertical transfer as well and for the BTech as well.
Okay. Right. Thank you. And this particular preference is what you said. So the preferences have to, what we feel now will be considered later, or we will have another. So we'll have another set of preferences after 1 year.
You have to fill a separate set of preferences.
Okay. Because I think some people were confused in one of the chat. I think someone was saying, you know, preferences may go the same.
The two preferences are different. So you have to, that's a different form altogether.
Okay. And the second one, again, I think someone asked, I think you also mentioned, Mr. Atul, that suppose we have 10 preferences and we are at 5, for example, and then we still are in floating, whatever terminology we use in BITSAT. Okay. So floating means we still have that in our pocket, but we may get a higher one. Suppose the second round or third round, we get from 5 to 4. So the fourth one is now the next letter for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. I think already people have asked a lot of questions, so most of the queries are over.
So,
yeah.
Sir,
Thank
yeah,
you. Thanks.
just to add to it, sir, as Varsha already mentioned, And as it is the general structure everywhere, if you have got a seat and if you want to move in the further rounds of counseling, there would be a fee payment for sure. And yeah, and then of course there would be like refunds, but
Sure.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that
I think
also is
every institute is following the UGC norms, so
yes,
that
yes.
will happen, of course.
And like what we have been through, like in previous years, I feel BITS has one of the most flexible refund policy. Like after a very good time period, they allow you to be there, and then even if you decide, like they refund a very good amount. So
I think, yeah, I like most NITs, even, IITs, they have this, so they follow the same structure, I think, like UGC.
UGC recommendations, right?
Correct.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot. I think I maybe was the last one, but okay. Still, I thank all of you for, giving this a great session. But I miss someone from
Yeah,
Pandey.
Adi is there. Adi, you asked, but now you have another doubt, right?
Yeah, sir, it's regarding the counseling. So basically, by historical, from what I've seen, so according to that, the branch I want to go in and the marks which I have got, I am getting the preferred branch in the 4th or the 5th iteration of the counseling, going by the historical data. So if I when I'm in those rounds, what is the chance that I get the branch, given that my score is above the cutoff? So am I still in limbo about that, or if my numbers are above the cutoff, I'm like somewhat guaranteed a seat in the campus?
Like just to add my perspective, maybe Varsha, Arjun, Karthik, you can add yours. Like when I had interaction with students previous year, suppose they were not getting any branch in first round, or suppose they got a branch which was very lower in their preference order in the first round. It might not have changed even till 4th round. Okay. Right. So you see, when it starts changing, suppose there are 10 different institutes who have counseling going on simultaneously. Now you would apply to all the places because you don't have any risk of, refund or anything. But when they start saying that now if you don't withdraw, maybe your money would start getting deducted. So that's the point when you finally try to make a call that, okay, now this is what I would want to go, right? And what I feel from previous years interaction, it was around after 4th or 5th round that people seriously started making their choices, and only then the branches gets shifted, like preferences get shifted. Yeah.
So I think slightly rephrasing the question, I'm his father.
Yes, sir.
So suppose there is a cutoff of say 305. I'm taking a hypothetical example, right? And in the 5th round, so anybody who is above 305, irrespective of the number of candidates above 305, get the allotment, or probably if suppose 50 seats are left, I'm again taking a hypothetical figure, and only and there are 55 students above 305 score. So only 50 will get and 5 will still not get. Is that a possibility, or anybody, if the cutoff is announced at the 305, everybody who's above 305 will be selected in that particular branch?
Arjun, you want to answer?
Well, what I actually believe is that the number of seats will be fixed by the institute before itself for that particular year. So for those 5 extra seats, they might not give the desired branch or the top preference for those 5 students. It'll be given only for those top 50 students.
Yeah. So Arjun, what he said, just adding to it. So, sir, the cutoff is decided in the reverse manner. You think it like this: the 50th person, whatever his or her cutoff is, that is the cutoff. Not that okay, let's decide a cutoff, and whoever is above that will be getting a particular branch. No. So it's like all the marks are sorted. They are arranged in the form of say decreasing marks, and then we see their preferences. Accordingly, first 50 people, whoever they are, they will get the branch. And even if we are above a certain number, but suppose more than 50 people are above us, we might not be getting it in the first shot.
Right. Okay. But in whatever is the last cutoff which is coming, if I'm above that, I'm selected in that particular branch, right?
Whatever is the last cutoff, as in after say 4-5 rounds?
Yeah, after 4-5 rounds, like judging by that, if you are like a
If you
certain
are
amount
above
of
the,
marks
if you
above
are
that,
above the round cutoff marks, if your marks are above the round cutoff mark, you are selected in that particular.
Yes,
That's
that
for sure,
would
right?
happen for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Second question, though you have answered it, I just wanted to take it forward. Is like you said, there are three options. One is a freeze, second is a slide, and third is you don't opt for it, or probably the floating what you're quoting.
Yeah.
So freeze means you have selected the course, you are not eligible for any other this thing. Your slide means you are selected a campus and you can slide in the above courses. But if I'm choosing the third one, again, and suppose again the limited number of seats are there, and people some other people have frozen those choices. So again the seats would be limited. So still I'm there in the race. Well, how is it working out? I'm not able to understand, because suppose the lead seats are limited. I'm in the race, but somebody else who was also there has frozen it. So those seats are filled. So the available seats are lesser, right? So everybody, how are you accommodating it? I mean, how the institute accommodates it, I'm not able to understand. So,
Okay. Let me try to explain. Suppose let's take again this example of 50. Okay. Suppose you are just at the 51st position, and all the people above you, they have frozen their choices, right?
Okay.
So right now we don't have any possibility. Even we are at float, but still we are not going up. Now what would happen after 4-5 rounds? They would be getting an ultimatum that you now make the full fee payment. Okay. Earlier it is just a part payment. It is fine. Like everyone is ready to pay say 40-50,000. But now suppose they are demanding, say now you pay 1.5 lakhs. At that point, you would have to make a choice that whether or not you really want to stick with this choice or leave it altogether. So suppose now you leave it, then your place is empty and the 51st person can move to 50th position. That's how you will go up the ladder.
Right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome. Most welcome. Okay. So I believe mostly we were able to answer the queries, and I would thanks a lot our panelists, Karthik, Arjun, and Varsha. Thank you for being very, very patient and answering all the questions till the very end. Thanks a lot. And we had Mr. Prateek also, but he was joining us from USA, and it was his office timing, so he left there. Mr. Shankar, our founder, he is joining from Singapore, quite late there, I believe, close to 1, but he is still sticking around. So thank you, Aditya.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm here listening anyway.
Yeah, thanks a lot. So again, thank you very much.
Thank you. Best wishes for the next round.
Oh yeah, definitely. Second session is still there. So, and if still any query is left, feel free to reach me. Okay, I believe you have my contact number anyways. Feel free to reach. We will try to resolve it. And best wishes. Good night to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Arjun. Thanks, Varsha.
Good night.